Righto, here we go. We're going to do a three-way unbagging. We get these in here. And we've got the ASL journal 15. This is an old journal. I'm catching up with my journals. And I've got two action packs that have just come out. So we're going to unbag all of those at the same time. And before I do that, though, I've got a couple of hot glue actions here. Going to glue some of these things. I got to prime them. I don't know if you guys recognize these, unless you just only play ASL, all you ever do, and then you would not recognize these are from, this is an expansion pack for War of the Ring game. These are the eagles that you can get. Anyway, so I'm going to glue those really quickly. As you can see, I've got a hot glue gun here, and I glue them to these spikes here. These are spikes. They're they're just screws, but they hold this temporarily while I prime all directions around them, except of course for the very bottom. So I just take a bit of glue here, and it should be starting to come out by now. Yep, there it is. Just a tad. That's enough. Put this down, and there we go. Just quickly zap. And put them down. All these miniatures have been washed in detergent and scrubbed, so hopefully the primer will stick. I did forget to do that on one of these. It's funny, you forget to do the essential stuff. Now this one is Galadriel, and I primed her, but I did forget to wash her first, so hopefully she'll still come out okay. All right, let's keep doing this real quick, just to demonstrate that you can do more than play ASL. You can do stuff while you play ASL. I remember I was playing Vinny in a tournament, and we were playing online, and he's like, I'm ironing while I play ASL. I said, there's no way you're doing that. And then he showed me a picture. He put his video on, showing that he was playing ASL on his computer at the same time he was talking to me, which made it all the more humiliating when he beat me. Yeah. And I had said, as usual, one of my biggest flaws is, oh, I dropped one of these minis. Damn, where'd it go? Hold on, let me pause the tape while I find the mini. Found it. Here it is, Elrond. That's what Galadriel looked like before she was primed. All right, so just glue that one in. And it's interesting using this glue gun. I saw this guy have a video did it this way, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty clever. So now they're ready to prime. Glue's pretty much all dry, even the one I did on Elrond. Yeah, so these eagles come in blue plastic. They'll come in here, but this primer, you just get basic primer. This one's a UK brand, Maxi Color, over it. Wires, I guess it is. So you can get them online too. And it's just great. You prime these. Oh, Elrond just fell off. He wasn't quite dried enough. Put him back on. Okay, so I'll put those aside. And that little side bit is done. Okay, so now this glue gun, little cheapo glue gun you get for, it's on sale down at the Hobbycraft. I don't really need to use it for very much other than that. So there we go. Let that, there it is, the glue gun. Okay, so back to ASL. All right, so I've ordered these in the order that I want to open them up. And basically, in the order of quality that I perceive. Sorry, let me talk into the microphone. I had to get my tools, my unbagging tools here. So, I'm ordering these in the quality of the perception, in my view, of what they look like from the cover standpoint. Now, take a look at these, and you tell me which one do you think are best. Okay? And hold that to yourself, or type it in the chat or whatever. 1, 2, and 3. ASL Journal, ASL Action Pack, and Blitzkrieg to Paris Action Pack 21. So, just so you know, I'm really not happy with the quality of these journals. The covers of these journals are just atrocious. Now, I'm going to zoom in on this, okay? You can see this cover. Now, I don't know what kind of a battle sequence this is. It looks completely staged. There's some kind of panzer coming over a rock. This looks like some cheap BT-7 or something. Guys running in here. Looks completely staged. And it's not even a very attractive piece of art. It's all muddy looking. It's just not pretty. Okay. The other thing I don't like about this journal is, look on the back here. What kind of... Okay, so I appreciate that they're, emphasizing the fact that they got electronic products. I'm cool with that. More Gaming Vault, all of this. I don't know what this QR code is for. Send you to the website, I suppose. Then they're advertising this special ops, which I have no interest in. There's no interest I have whatsoever in buying their flagship magazine for their flagship pile of games that they've got over there. And they were blasted before for mixing ASL into special ops, because they know they can use ASL to draw people into buying the special ops magazine and the subscription, because there's some ASL stuff in there. If special ops can't stand on its own without ASL in it, and perhaps it does. All right, it doesn't deserve it. Anyway, so there's your zoom in. Let's take it apart. Again, I like these. I really find that this is actually why I didn't buy SU-15, because there's really nothing in it that I need. It has all these overlays from, I guess, the Doom Battalion's overlays. Somehow, and I didn't get a copy that were like this. Mine all still had. I must have had a new reprint or something. I still had all these center dots. I wasn't missing the center dots that they're talking about. My overlays. So these are all superfluous. I could sell these or give these away to somebody. If somebody wants these, they can send me a PM. All right. So there was no boards in this. They had the usual pile of scenarios, which hopefully they're high quality. I don't know. They always look pretty good. It's nice to have the new scenarios. I like to get original cards rather than scans from a friend. It's really nice when a friend does all of that stuff for you, but, I really don't. I don't mind getting the actual cards. All right, so here we go. The usual journal, razzmatazz. Do I have this zoomed in enough? Here we go. Yeah, the usual articles. Kurt. Here we go. Pete ponders Ponry. We don't need this kind of cute alliteration here. Pete ponders Ponry. It just bugs me to see stuff like that. Jim Bishop is ready to go. Who cares? Oh, all right, Bishop. Whatever. Doesn't look interesting. Long Hillock. Okay, Hillock LOS. This is not as complicated as everybody makes it to be. Not at all. Okay. Brian Yels plays in the polder. Not interesting sounding. Debriefing might be good. De haut en bas, up and down. Tracing line of sight between different vertical levels in ASL. Sorry, let me put that over here. Okay, so tanks on the attack, that could be good. That's a Bishop article. He's usually pretty good about his tactical stuff. Bruce Bakken, old stomping ground guy. What's the big idea? Oh. Some kind of reaction article might be interesting. Warriors needed in haste. Okay, so tracing line of sight. Let's just take a quick look at that article. Okay, so this must be an LOS example here. Article parameters. Let's zoom back out a little bit. That's too close, too far. Zoomer works pretty good. All right. So, yeah, here's an LOS example sheet, I guess. So, yeah. I'm not really sure what the big deal is here. You've got level 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Level 3, 10 minus 3 right here. Tracing LOS to this guy on level 1. Obviously, if that's jungle, that's going to be level 3. You won't be able to see it. If it's not jungle, then this is level 2. He's at level 3. This will create 2 blind hexes, but then this is up 1, so it's only 1 blind hex. I'm sorry, I don't know if this is really going to be that difficult to understand. So, okay, so you got all this stuff, and that's fine. Tanks on the attack, probability of AFE elimination. I did a table like this for myself, just out of AI. You don't really need to you can do this kind of stuff yourself. So actually, I've already published a video just about this stuff already, probably before this came out. All right, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. So, this, journals, I'm sorry, for me, they're just kind of like packaging for the boards that you normally get. Okay. Now, look at the quality of the art on these. Let's move on to these. These are beautiful. Okay. Why do I like these so much? Well, because the contrast is there. Look at this artwork here. Okay. I just love the look of this. It's in one shade, it's shaded. You got the stark reality of warfare here. The action pack tells you what's in it, okay? From Oktoberfest 38 or something, I guess. All the different nations that are inside this particular pack. Just beautiful layout. This is just nicely laid out, okay? And what you're getting is the pack and the scenarios and a board. Okay, on the back, it tells you what the scenarios are. It shows you a picture of the board. There's no BS advertising here. I love it. I really like it. Let's open it up and just see. And this has what you want. It's got some scenarios. It's got a board. Might have some special rules. Let's take a look and see. Having trouble opening this. Dexterity, not what it used to be. All right, there it is. Now the problem with these action packs is they don't connect the back and the front. They should just make it a little folder. All right, here's this usual disclaimer from MMP. What's it say? We at MMP are dedicated to perfection and customer satisfaction. Okay, so this is their usual blurbola in there. That's nice. Okay, but I like these action packs. So here you go. Here's the board. All right, looks like a nice Koreanish board. Could be a jungle board as well. Not bad at all. And then you have a variety of scenarios, all of which look amazing. I'm going to talk about that later, about the number of scenarios I've got to deal with here. There's too many left to play in what's my probable lifespan. And so I have to figure out what I'm going to do about that. All right, so we're pushing that aside. And now we'll come to this. Now, this is a real beauty, okay? This is a Fortenberry production. And he usually does an amazing job, but it's just very creative. Now, again, I love this picture. A stark shaded tank in two-tone production, but it's evokes war. You got the motion. You got, look, the dust coming off of these tank edges right here. It tells you what it is. It's about Blitzkrieg to Paris. Cool idea. Crappy old armor, but so what? Action pack, the different nations. We got Germany. We got the Amish farmers, British and Belgians. It looks like French and Belgians. Okay, so 4 new maps and 10 new scenarios. Just exactly what you want to hear. Okay, flip it over. Boom. Okay, the maps are here. 1, 2, they're double wide maps. Okay, awesome. Okay, this is another Fortenberry special, creating all these double wide geomorphic maps and nice scenarios. Disaster in Ypenburg, that sounds like it's in Belgium. First dance, okay, all of these are look like French Blitzkrieg scenarios, which is great. A nice theme to the pack. And we open it up. And wow, okay, so we've got this. Unfortunately, it's not connected. Okay, here we go. Scenario design Fortenberry, map design Fortenberry. Okay, very nice. All right, so we've got a couple of sheets. We have errata. Scenario J2. Can I get this in focus? 232. German turn 3 entry instructions. Add something about which board they come in. Okay, so something got left off, followed by their high quality perfectionistic thing. So it is nice to get the errata in, to get it actually in the packet of scenarios. Now there might be more. All right, so we've got these double wide boards. There's the first one. Interesting look, hill coming down into the town. Here's another one, sort of a valley sort of look, valley and wooded area, another farmish village there. Nice new riverboard with some tough buildings on this side of the map over here. So if you're crossing over, you got a fight on your hands going that way. And then a nice farmish board right here. This is for the Amish scenarios, I guess. All right. So lovely. All right. Very happy with that. And then, of course, we have the scenarios. Sometimes what happens with Fortenberry scenarios is there's too many special rules. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me. All right. This one, that's not too bad. When you have a big scenario, it's probably okay. That's that special rules situation. Yeah, these don't look too bad. All right. So, nice pile of scenarios. Now, what I have to do is tell you about my idea for these scenarios. So, I'm going to let you know that I've got two. I mean, there's no I'm visibly getting older, so, and feeling older, and it's these games, people that I'm playing, a lot of them play so slow, and then you wind up playing slow, and every hex of every vehicle is counted out, and then they count it out in their mind first, and then, oh no, I made a mistake, let me back it up, and this happens all the time, and it just takes forever to play. There's a rules dispute, you wind up looking it up, and I mean, I find that okay, especially for a campaign game. I've got a nice Valor of the Guards campaign game going on, and we're just playing it to make sure we get it right. So we look at the rules carefully, and I find that different because that's not a tournament game. But these tournaments, oh my God, these guys are just taking forever to look and make their moves. Now, I wouldn't say that's true all the time. I would have to say, though, that, I don't run into fast players enough. There's a group in Northern Scotland. They seem to get together all the time and play. And those guys are fast players because they're playing all the time. I don't have time to dedicate my Friday evenings to playing ASL away from my wife and stuff like that. We have other plans we like to do. I have other games I like to play. as you just witnessed. But anyway, I want to figure out a way to play these faster. I'm going to try it solo first, and it's going to involve how the rules are approached. I've got a good sense of the rules, probably have 85% of them memorized, but there's like little tricky rules like dash rules, not so much dash, but snapshot rules, rules related to finicky things. And it's the finicky things that take a long time. It's the finicky things that the processes that are finicky are really long, like doing star shell attempts. If you have a lot of squads, it's like every squad is going to try, every leader's going to try, and you roll, and then you roll again for dispersion. And it's just a lengthy process. Something has to be done to minimize that process. I have just too many scenarios to play. Now, of course, most of them are night scenarios, right? So that's an exception. But, you've got other processes, just the moving of tanks, the going over the overrun flow chart, crunch, crunch, crunch all the time. What can you do if they don't overrun? What can you do if they do overrun? What can you do if they're concealed and you're waiting to decide to overrun? So they roll their patsy. The flow chart for overruns is devastatingly complex. And I'm not really sure what it adds, especially given the fact that in the most cases, tanks were not used, especially in the especially in the towns and in the cities. Tanks were not used to launch the attack and to freeze units to keep them from firing. I mean, yeah, you can talk about the logic of how VBM freeze should work when tanks are doing that, but it was not a tactic. It was not something that was done unless you were some kind of fanatic kid inside a Panzer V and you're deciding to launch crazed attacks. Not that it shouldn't be optional to do, but there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. So, the whole tank thing, even though they're trying to fix it, is still screwy. That's VBM freeze methodology. I tell you what, the guys who did the Dinant thing got it right. They said, you're not allowed to do it. You're basically not allowed to do VBM freeze anymore. So, in a very elegant way. And the fact of the matter is, they've also tried to fix the dangers. I think I've talked about this before, the foxholes where you have them sitting and then you have to spend a movement point to get out of them, which allows you to get shot up when you try to retreat. So it makes the fighting withdrawal almost insane, insanely difficult. So now they've done a combined move dealio where you can get out of the foxhole and leave as part of a movement into a new hex, which is great, except it doesn't fix the skulking rule. It makes the skulking easier. So there's that problem too. But anyway, all of that said and done, I do love ASL. Look at all these scenarios to play. Look, here's a lovely scenario. Here's a lovely scenario. Okay? Look at that. Here's another lovely scenario. In these packs alone, and this has nothing to do, there's like 30 scenarios here. And, I'm playing with this tournament. We get together for 2 hours or 3 hours, and we play 3 turns. It's just like, I can't play enough ASL doing that. So I've dropped out of all these tournaments where I have to play slow players. And with all due respect, guys, everybody's trying to get it right, and everybody's trying to move, and get the most out of their tanks and all of that stuff. And it's just brutal. And so I'm moving on from that. I'm going to find ways to play this game faster. Some of the people I used to hang out with, Raleigh, there's a couple of guys, they said, we only play fast. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we play fast. We don't stop. We just continue to play. We don't mess around with it, taking our time. And at the time, 30 years ago or so, and what was it, 1997 or something like that, when they told me about this, I'm like, yeah, right, come on, you guys, you're not going to learn how to play. And they weren't the best players at the time. But now I've seen some of those guys at tournaments, and they're doing really well. So they learned the game that way. And I think it might be a sort of a way to learn. You play fast, you write down rules you're not sure about, and check them later. but you don't stop the game and stop the flow and stop the thinking and oh, where was I and all of that stuff. And you just play the game and have a nice flowing attack and defense. And oh, you know what? I screwed up that over one. So what? I'll get it right next time. So this is my idea to try that. And try it solitaire too. And figure out some methodologies, do a couple case studies on my own, try to find a way of handling it that allows me in my lifespan to play 5 times the number of scenarios that I'm playing now, for example, and still not give up on the other games that I love. All right, I think I've gone on long enough. That is it. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.